I'd like to call the regular monthly meeting of the Gibbon City Council to order. The first order of business is oath. And you do this all together, stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in.
You have to repeat that. No,
Oh.
Greg
Oh.
and Beetle does not.
What?
Yeah, Greg and Beetle don't
They
have.
trust us.
Raise your right
You gotta read the paper.
Wait a
It's
second.
in front
I,
of you.
Jeff Gatton. Okay.
I, Doug Stark,
I, Richard Gerska,
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of the state of Minnesota and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the mayor
of the city of Gibbon in the county of Sibley and state of Minnesota to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
Okay, we got the agenda in front of us. I didn't hear of anybody, any additions, anybody want to add anything? Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second it.
motion been made and seconded to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carried. We had the minutes from the last meeting. I didn't see anything that stood out.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes, previous minutes from the last meeting, December 7th.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to approve December 7th meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Carried. Land use permits?
There aren't any.
No land use permits?
Nope.
And
Jerry just came
we have
in.
Jerry Shortruck on. This is a continuation of the
Yeah.
last one, I assume, Jerry. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed our panels at home that we have on the farm, when we get snow on them, it gets quite a bit of snow and they get really heavy. And, you know, with my situation, with my double lots I have on my site there where I live, there's nobody to the south of me. To the east of me, that guy goes out toward the east, and Billy Mester's to the west of me, he goes out toward the north. Nobody will really see it if I can put them on the ground. And I brought Paul along because he swept all of them off out there. He can tell you the difference they make. We want to keep them clean. And with my house being at a level about like this, I know the snow's going to really pile up on them and it's going to be hard to get off. And we want to get them off because they're very efficient, especially in the wintertime, because the air is so clean compared to summer. Now, you don't have as much sun, of course, but it's cleaner. We get actually more out of them per panel per hour. So you just tell them what you did with the.
Well, no, I just wanted to say that it would be a real burden to try to clean them off on the roof, beans and how that the house is actually facing towards the southeast. When I was out there at my shop, we cleaned those. I get out there as soon as that snow is 1.5 feet deep on those things, and all the inverters. I have 5 inverters that say that they're 300 watts apiece. Sun is shining. I clean them off. It takes me 45 minutes to pull down 172 panels, and each inverter is sitting at 7,500 to 8,000 watts, from 300 to 7,500 to 8,000. So it is a big deal to try to get them clean, and to get on a roof and try to fall off in the middle of the winter when it's icy would be just a burden. I don't see why it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's like putting a fence up. Anybody puts a fence around their yard, it's just something that's facing to the south, you know. And it'd be cleaner to face to the south so it grabs the peak power at noon rather than when it starts burning off at the southeast of his house. It starts burning off after noon. At noon is where you make your peak power. So it's kind of like it'd be great to have them due south, not southeast, on the ground so you could actually clean them is the big deal. So.
And I think when they push the snow off on that road, don't they generally always push it to the south into the field? They'll never push it up on the grass, would you?
That'd be
That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be certain instances where we'll maybe push a little your way, but
Sure.
But if-
Sure.
you know, as long as your poles or whatever are
set back far enough.
Set
set
back far enough. And I know they're going to be
Shouldn't be a problem.
approximately this high off the ground, at the bottom of the solar panel. And you have 2 panels, one above the other one. This is the way they did it out on the farm, and that's the way I'd want it here too. So we do get some snow, you can brush it down, you don't always have to dig it away and get rid of it, you know, so.
You want it on the ground, like behind your home or in the vacant lot?
It'd be actually where this is my house sits like this, it's right over here, my lot goes over to here. I'd start a little bit this way toward the west and put in the 2 rows, or 1 row of them. It's about 70 feet.
And again, you have nobody behind you.
No,
This Paul's junkyard.
I'd like to cover that up, but
Whatever, yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, I bought the house there the way it was, so.
Well, I know, we discussed this for quite a while, about it. And it really had to do with, a lot of it did have to do with, precedence, you do it, the next person, I mean, that's kind of what the whole thing got into. I understand that it'd be easier cleaning the ground and all that, but what I'm getting at is just, I mean, it's just, it's something that we didn't want to get into, having to deal with, everybody doing solar panels and the reflection and all this other stuff, and because we let one person do it, and the next person will do it, and then there was some, issues, I know, in some of the other ordinances in town about reflecting, in other people's buildings. Not that you would have that issue, but, when we talked about this, I mean, we don't wanna have to deal with that, when somebody comes and says, well, okay, Jerry Schwartzrock got some, how come I can't have mine? Then pretty soon we're dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff, the trees, it's just, we just didn't wanna get into that. And that was the reason why, not to make it more difficult for you and everything, it's just, I realize it's gonna be hard, but that's where we're at. I mean, you can understand that,
I can understand that.
And then what we're talking about is people putting in their yards, and all of a sudden, okay, well, I got a tree in the way, which is on the boulevard. Well, I gotta cut the tree down, we gotta remove trees, we're gonna do this, and if we just do it in the houses, it's just, it has a lot less problem with, that we're gonna run into in the future. I just, and that's kinda where I'm at with this thing is, and then I was always at that position that.
But do you honestly believe that anybody else in this town was gonna wanna put up solar panels besides the city of Gibbon here?
Well, you don't know what's gonna happen 5 or 10 years from now either,
Yeah.
It's anything can happen, they could offer tax credits for just any Tom, Dick, and Harry doing it. I mean, there's a guy all of a sudden go on to Northern Tool and buy a bunch of solar panels and put them up and don't take care of them because they're on the ground and they're abandoned. I mean, it's just, if they're on a roof, most times, you don't have that. That's kind of the deal. You get a lot of guys just building their own thing, and because you're allowed to do it now because the city allows it. Okay,
Well,
so
that'd
now.
just be a different deal for you guys to deal with at another meeting, though.
Yeah, but it's harder once you allow one person to do it. Then you're setting a precedent, or okay, my neighbor do it, but I can't.
It does get to the point though, I mean, I'm in a unique position with the house I have in the double lots.
Oh, I agree.
If somebody else would come in there, I mean, I've looked at a lot of houses here, there just isn't enough room to put them in because of shade of another house.
Yeah.
And I don't
Grandpa
think
Amos wants to put them on his yard by his apartment that he bought.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
it's facing the wrong way to begin with.
You don't even have anything big enough to do it.
Yeah. But if we open the door and there's people are gonna try it, and that's where we're at. I mean,
Okay.
How do they, what angle are they gonna be in? Are they, when they?
They
sit right
sit
about
like this, the angle,
Yeah, right
about like that.
They pitch them usually for the happy medium between summer and winter.
I believe it.
You have to bring them up taller for winter because the sun's down farther. But then they bring them back a little bit. They just leave them at that little bit for the sun when it's tall during the summer.
So are these movable that?
No, they're stationary.
They're not.
What, so how much would you lose if you put them straighter on your house?
A lot. They won't even do any good during the summer. months when you have the longest.
See, what scares me too, if I put in a straighter, and let's say the snow would blow off, stay on the house, there's gonna be some melting because they do get a little warm. I could have such an ice buildup on the roof of my house. And the weight is what's so bad. So,
Yeah, it's just,
I'd like to ask a question
Sure.
about, I don't need to know how much, but this, I'm gathering, this is a substantial investment, thousands of dollars.
mhm.
yeah.
And I was thinking of that when Greg, when you were talking about if somebody went to Menards or someplace and bought something. I don't think too many people in Gibbon would have the commitment to a project like this, or the funds
Absolutely not.
to do it, and so I don't see that opening a floodgate, and then I kinda look at this the way, like, one time, somebody came to the city because they found when they built their home, the garage was something like 18 inches too far close to the alley or something, and then they asked for a variance.
Sure,
And that
sure.
kind of made sense, and I don't think that anybody would ever want to do that. And, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I said before, anybody who's gonna invest in this town, I think is a wonderful thing.
The reason I did it, because of the expense of the solar panels, generally the rest of my life I would really never, what I had saved from paying XL would not pay for these solar panels. But what had happened, we're selling our wind turbines out west and I got some money back and I had to pay federal, state, and social security tax. I took that money and I bought the solar panels, so it eliminated me from the federal tax. And I did get a grant from XL Energy to take care
That's
of the
the
rest
big
of it.
deal.
That's
Yeah.
the real thing.
You want a
They're
lottery,
paid for.
so
I mean,
you get the extra.
that's why I did it, or I wouldn't have done it. I absolutely wanted to. We did it at the farm because we had so much more electricity out there with the drying facility and the shop and so on and so forth. That's a whole different deal. But in town here, I'm about 1/5 the size of what we are at the farm.
Yeah, but it's a great deal with the lottery that was won. You know, that helps everything and paying back at that. It's, you fill out the paperwork, you got 1 in 6 people win it.
And I belong to the Nora Unitarian Church outside in Hanska, where we built a wind turbine.
Sure.
Mhm.
And that pays for all of the church's electricity and a portion of the rectory.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
And it's just an amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, when you're out there, and, I don't know, you know, obviously, there's advantages to living in the country, and there's advantages to living in the city, and there's
Sure, sure.
disadvantages to both, you know, and this is
Absolutely, yeah.
this is one of the disadvantages of living in town is that even though it's your property, sometimes, I mean, you gotta take into consideration the rest of the people in town and what we gotta deal with. As opposed to living on 160, 360 acres where sometimes you don't have to deal with some of that. I don't know,
Well, I'm just gonna say how I feel on this situation. I'm not too concerned about making an exception for you because of where you're located and the fact that we don't have an ordinance in place yet. Okay, we can form this ordinance that, if you look down on the agenda, coming right up, we can write that any way we want. What we did before that,
It's already done.
it's a done deal. So I'm not concerned about that. I think it's a perfect situation in this town. And my gut says, hey, when you got a citizen trying to better the situation for them, for the town, for, you know, so
Sure.
I'm leaning towards it, but
Yeah,
I wanna hear other opinions.
We can better utilize
I guess
too.
I look at it like, I mean, we have a lot of other yards that got worse things to look at all the time than solar panels. I mean, it would have been nice if somebody would have said initially that snow was gonna be a problem, there's no way to work on the roof. Now we gotta go and
I mean,
kinda
we kinda-
undo some things that have been done if that's how it's gonna happen. But I guess I'm not I kinda agree with you, it is a unique situation,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, there's not many people other than Schmeider that are probably gonna look at them, and a few other people that go up and down the road, but
Sure, sure.
like I said, the biggest thing would've been nice to know, they wouldn't have had to have all that other discussion, and,
Well, we thought it was
but
finished
that's hindsight.
last time.
Mhm, mhm.
No, it's not.
And I think maybe part of it started with, you know, when I bought the house, Bud had 3 panels up there, and they were really heavy. We took them off. They were water went through them. Their heated water went to my water heater. And maybe that's where we thought we could just put them up there. But I've done a lot of research, and if they can put them on the ground, it is way better just to clean them, because we can reach a broom up there and broom them off. But on the roof, I won't go up there.
Well, even
because it's
after
too
Bobby
dangerous. I mean,
combines his corn and they're completely full of dust, somebody's gotta get out there and pressure wash them too, and you don't wanna be standing on a roof running a pressure washer either.
What's-
You know, because if it all comes in, they don't make power when there's dust. I get out there and wash those things too in the summer. It is what it is, you know?
What's the closest you can get, if you put them on the ground, what's the closest you can get, or stay, what's the distance away from the house? Or away from the alley, either way, I mean, let me know what your dimensions are.
I have a lot of room there. I wouldn't like to really put them in the middle. I'd like to keep them as close to the road as I can, but I mean, that's the variance that you guys gotta make a decision on that. That's your.
What did we say
Well, I think
originally?
initially when we talked about having holes dug, we wanted to stay 20 feet, right, Aaron? Just,
I thought that's what you guys discussed.
Yeah, it was 20 feet. So the panels would be actually about 15 feet from the road. They're 5 feet from the poles.
How far will they, like if I'm standing in the back of your house, the distance from your house to the first panel, how far will that be?
I'm gonna guess approximately about 80 feet. 80 feet about.
So could they be moved closer to the house?
We could, it'd get them in the middle of the yard, and that doesn't bother me too much because I'm gonna rock around it anyhow. So I keep the weeds down there, so I don't have to mow that. And whether I mow on the south side and the north side, it's not the end of the world.
I guess I'm thinking, you know, to make sure that it would not be a problem for neighbors. First of all, who are your neighbors? Who lives?
Well, Billy Mester's to the west of me, and then I think Arlene Stark's daughter lives
and
to the
husband.
east of me, and her husband.
In her grandpa's old house, Arlene's dad's old
Yeah,
house.
Taylor, whatever.
Have
yeah,
they-
yeah.
Are they with you on this? I mean, they have no problems. They're not gonna come up and say, well, geez, why'd you let them guys put this up? Cause I never said I wanted that crap.
Yes, we do.
Right. No, they haven't said anything to me, and we've talked to them, you know, so.
He's talked to him about it, we'd have to ask him, I guess, he could ask him one more time, you know?
I think, yeah, we need some kind of written, I don't know, just to know that. I'm kind of leaning towards, yeah, you should be able to do it, but I think it should be as close to the house as possible. And I think your neighbors need to provide a written, some kind of, you know, so we know for sure they're okay with it. And then maybe I'm out of line by requesting that, but that's what I guess if I was a neighbor, I'd want to have a real understanding of what's going on.
Understandable, yeah.
There's one other scenario I'd like to put in front of you. What if I would put another garage back there and face it east and west and just have my roof and just put it on that roof? Because there I can beef the rafters up so I will never have any ability of collapsing from snow. Is that a possibility?
There's room there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
That would be
Yeah,
better.
I mean,
Would that be better?
Would it be better to build a 40x60 shed back there and just put another hoist in it so he can do his own work in town and not tie up my stuff?
See, the idea of improving, you know, a nice looking
Yeah.
shed sitting
Sure,
back there with
sure.
these things on top, I think that would look wonderful.
Nobody would even see them then because they'll be on the south side.
Yeah.
It would be.
I mean, I'd be,
easy to do so.
I'd
Would
be
that-
fine with that. I'd be
I
fine
think
with
that's a
that.
good
What
idea.
about you on the roof, cleaning the panels?
But that's the other problem. That'd be the other problem, Ed, if you think about
I
that,
can
it's still.
keep that one side lower down toward the road, you know, with the building. Let's say I'm putting it up, maybe I'll just put a one slant roof on and come straight down on the north side and down a little bit on the south side, and then those panels will still be this far off the ground. And we can get a broom up there and we can get the snow off yet.
that way if, yeah, you put a building on.
And still have it high enough so I can maybe
They'd
put
still
a
be-
waste in, or,
They'd be low enough.
Yeah, but if the panel's gonna be yellow anyway, why go through the trouble of putting a shed up, why not just put them on the ground and?
Yeah, that's.
But maybe you want a shed, I don't know, do
It's
you?
a,
that was just another
scenario.
thought
if
in
you-
case I.
Just to keep them due south, that would
Yeah.
be the biggest deal. I just don't see the southeast facing too, like I said, it's just the way that they work, learning about them, and they don't make that power on the low early mornings, it's when that noon comes around, and then your panels are off to the side. I mean, you look at Tim Bruins is out there, that thing, they follow. That's neat in its own way, and it's unique, but they know exactly how to hold it at that pitch, you know. Follow that sun is a big deal, but for the standard ones, the stationary ones, should be due south to keep them.
The movable ones wouldn't work, you don't wanna monkey with them.
Well, we looked at them in all different ways, they cost a lot more for what you're doing.
Basically, the movable ones are gonna cost,
1/3
a
more.
third more, and they'll do about 2/5 of the power what ours will.
Yes.
So they get expensive, but they're way more efficient too. Actual
For what
time
they do.
paying wise,
Yep.
it's a wash either way.
Mhm.
Now, let's say, for instance, you put them on the ground, how is your property assessed as far as opposed to putting up a shed and putting them on there? We discussed something about, not allowing people, about concern about people using their properties to commercially use solar panels to make money off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
And,
That's not about.
yeah, I understand, it's, but is the city gonna, if you put them on the ground, is the city gonna be able to reassess your property? Are you gonna be assessed that because they're just done by themselves? Or, that's another thing, I would prefer them being on a structure where, like you said, the garage, the city would be able to get the tax, so, you know what I mean? That's another angle where, if we're gonna have to deal with this on a city level, and people are constructing this, it maybe would stop or slow down or prevent people from putting up so many that they're just gonna, okay, we wanna make twice as much off of electricity than we're actually using, so we're gonna put up a bunch of solar panels, but they wouldn't do that if they actually had to put up a garage or something to mount them on, and they would have to pay taxes on it, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I don't think that would happen because they are expensive.
Yeah, I understand that, and, I'm just seeing what is the city's, I appreciate you guys putting up solar panels, that's great, but, if we're dealing with ordinances and all this stuff, the city, it's always a money issue.
Sure.
Are we gonna get anything as far as being able to assess your property at a higher rate? Or at more because you've got these solar panels up, if you want them on the ground, or is that gonna take you longer to monitor?
Sure.
You got any idea if any other towns?
I don't know how they assess that. Do you know how they would do assessments? It is it's an exterior building. It's still
Yeah.
something done to the exterior. So it'll be
I imagine it's
maybe a little bit.
improvement.
I highly
Yeah.
doubt that they're gonna assess the full
They would
amount.
have to,
Yeah.
That's up to the county to decide how
Yeah.
they would do the property tax.
So that's,
Well, they are coming out, just with solar panel shingles now too. They
Right.
almost looks like you have shingles on your house and they are weatherproof and it's producing, that's gonna be coming also, and it's not gonna make your property gonna go up, I don't believe, because you're gonna be putting expensive shingles on
Yeah.
anyway, or tin. Now these new solar panel shingles are starting to come out, they put them
Yeah.
on layers of stuff and you lay on sheets of, and each one has wires coming off and goes back into your grid.
yeah.
It's nice to be self-sufficient and.
Yeah, and something like that, we wouldn't, you just, if something like that came about and you were doing something like that, you just come in and get a building permit
Yeah.
and sign it, you'd be done.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
understandable.
the difference between the ground mounted and,
Yep.
extra structure, so.
I think those solar, or those ones that are on the roof, I think they're made more down for Phoenix and down that way, cause.
Right, because you don't
Yeah, they're kinda cupped and you get snow in there.
Yeah.
They're
They're
not
down,
going-
I mean,
right.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't see them
No,
up
I
here.
can see that, yeah.
You don't see them down in Phoenix and
Yeah.
that type of country.
But no, I just, really like to see if, you know, on the ground would be great. To see the cleaning possibility. If it has to be build another building, there's another 40 grand. You know, who knows if he wants to do that for sure. And I was just hoping we can get them up and help you guys too. Why not get them up for the city of Gibbon? And then you can collect the power and everybody's stuff is paid for, and you guys make money off of that too.
XL is gonna
Put
have
your own
3
money.
rate increases in the next
Yep.
2 years, and these are not gonna be small. They're gonna eat us up out here, I mean, it's time.
I know
Do
the
something.
rural is getting it now, and we're living okay in the town here, but. you know,
Sure, sure.
Another thing, I mean, if you put the solar panels up, that kinda prevents you from putting a garage up there too.
That's true. I guess I'll have to deal out there.
You
The-
really
the
would
other
prefer to have them freestanding like you first said.
Yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
So how do we, if we would make a motion or something to approve it, how, what do we gotta do about what's
Well,
already been motioned? We
I think first we gotta, do an ordinance and finalize an ordinance before we make a motion to allow anything.
But don't we already have a motion for? Didn't we already give you a go-ahead if you were gonna put it on the?
On the roof.
On the roof was it?
That's
was
right,
the way
and
I
that
got-
was because you came and
Yeah, now it's
asked
a
for a
little
permit.
different, now they're asking something
And we
different.
granted you the permit, so you're before us now asking for like, a change.
Yeah, just for cleaning purposes, just to
And
keep
you're
them.
asking us for the ability to put it on the ground,
Mhm.
and then Doug's, I thought he had, you're not doing anything right now in the dead of this winter.
Oh,
are you?
no. No,
You
this
can't.
is gonna be a spring, if it even goes in, and I don't know what their situation is.
They don't dig holes and put the
Concrete in.
it.
Because I really like what Doug said, if you could come in just like if, you know, a person were building a big fence or something, and you could say, well, I have 2 neighbors, and
Mhm.
this, and here's a statement from this one, here's a
Sure,
statement from that one.
That's fine. We can
We
go
can
talk
do
to
that.
them.
And then at least we'd have the assurance that we're not offending your,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah,
neighbors.
that's fine.
Mhm.
and,
The back road there that goes behind my place, is that the city line there?
The middle of the road is.
The middle of the
The
road?
middle of the road, it is, okay.
Okay.
Exactly in the middle.
Yeah.
But Ern, you take care of the whole road, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sure.
The reason I asked that, I thought, instead of maybe building the garage, if I don't have to build a garage, maybe I can buy that little chunk of land from Bobby Fisher and just put them on there.
Now, you know, I
That's
was always
out of-
gonna mention that too, I mean, that would.
That's out of city limits, I
Yeah,
mean,
that is, yeah.
But he won't sell any land.
maybe he won't.
What's Leo's?
Okay.
Fair enough.
Bobby can't hardly get in there, get around.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean,
Sure,
I thought
sure.
about that too, I mean,
Sure.
that's something to avoid the whole ordinance city issue. thing.
If you get a couple paperworks from neighbors and stuff, you
I
guys maybe
would
consider it.
love it if you came back.
Sure,
you know,
sure, we can do
with
that, no problem.
Yeah,
That's no
that
problem.
works.
We don't have to make any decisions tonight, I like that.
You know, all the neighbors that surround your area that would maybe be affected.
Sure, sure, sure.
So,
Okay,
we'll see you next month.
you
See
bet.
next
Yeah.
month,
We're
guys.
getting
Thanks.
there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting there, that's great.
Thank you, fellas.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, Dana.
Thanks.
Okay, then we're talking about old business is solar panel ordinance. Well, we raised a question with you, because we talked, the ordinance says they're supposed to put them on the roof, right? Well, we did not approve the ordinance yet.
Right.
Right, but I'm just, since we are talking about the ordinance, I'm just saying, well, do we want an ordinance that says you gotta put it on the roof, that might not be a good idea?
That's what our ordinance says. That-
Yeah,
I know, the one, the proposed ordinance says it goes on the roof.
yeah.
But then again, like, I didn't know that a person cleans these things and. Well,
I mean,
you know, if we, have you heard anything from them about the city stuff and how much we can do and?
No.
See, is that just pie in the sky?
That's
That bothers me because
does.
I didn't get a good feeling from him.
Yeah,
I know you didn't either, so.
that's,
Well, I didn't know what he was talking, there were so many things that were being discussed, I never knew what we were discussing when he was talking.
I mean, another option to that is buy them and put
Was
them
that-
up ourselves.
was that?
You know that.
Yeah. I mean, was that just a red herring to try to get his other thing?
We need to check some other sources maybe too, I don't know.
My opinion about this proposed ordinance is, again, we're like putting in a solution for a problem we don't have. I think we would be better off if people came before us like Jerry, they're asking for a permit. And I believe we passed an ordinance saying if you're going to put in solar panels, you need a building permit.
We didn't pass the ordinance.
Didn't we make that a rule?
No. It's
We
in,
made a motion that you have to still you have to get a building permit on anything you do exterior.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, so if it's on his roof or on the ground, he
Okay.
has to get a building permit.
I kind of
That's
like the
always
way
been
that
rule.
works. I like the
So-
way that works personally.
See, technically, we don't have city building permits. We have land use ordinances.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to change the outside appearance or the land. So that's what solar panels is all about.
Okay, so long as it's covered.
So
Somebody
they
has
have
to come
do that,
in.
yes.
I think it's great the way it's working out with these guys, and this, again, I think is a solution, looking for a problem, and
Well,
that's my opinion.
I think the cost factor is gonna hinder 90% of the city.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel that, but,
well, basically, there's only a hand of people that are on the south end.
yeah.
Maybe like Butch Weber, they'd be the only other possible options probably are, you know, somebody along that alley. They've ever would acquire some land. And then most people, there's so many trees and stuff that they don't have access to remove.
So maybe we are jumping the gun and don't need one.
Well, that was my opinion. But I'm 105.
But now, we don't have to make a decision on the ordinance at all tonight either.
I think we should table it.
Well, we can't make a decision on the ordinance. We have to have an open hearing on the ordinance
Yeah.
anyway.
So, we'll just,
Table it.
Table it till next month.
yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, well then we're gonna, could I make one suggestion, either
Yep.
you call them and find out an update in the
No,
near
we'll need to.
future, before next month, I'm not saying right
Okay.
away. So, okay, we're gonna move on to new business. Okay, under the Gibbon Fire Department, we need to approve the chief and assistant chief. Chief is going to be Toby Bruns and Ryan Sabo for the year.
I'll make the motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion be made and seconded to approve Toby Bruns as fire chief and Ryan Sabo as assistant chief. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, and then we also have two fire department members that are gonna retire and have put forth their resignation. We need to accept the resignation from Brett Howe and Randy Fisher.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the resignation from Brett Howe and Randy Fisher from the fire department. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Carried. Okay, meeting with fire department, townships and city, February 6th, 7 PM at the community center. And is that a full council meeting we want there?
Heads up, I don't know, I just think you and I and
Okay.
What day
the
of
fire
week
chief
is
will
it?
be there. I don't know how many firemen.
That's the same
Toby
thing we
said it's
had
up to the
last year.
firemen. If
Okay.
they wanna come, they can come. If they don't want to, they don't have to.
Okay.
So I guess it's up to
What do you do there?
I'll post it.
Well, last year
Discussing- Yeah,
was
so- yeah, discussing, fees and,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Oh,
And
What day of the week is it?
Third Monday.
A Monday night?
so.
I'll try, I can't promise anything.
Because we either should make a decision who's gonna be there or who's not.
I'll still post it.
Oh,
So
you
it's
will?
fine if everyone
Okay.
shows up.
Okay.
I'll
fine.
post it as an active meeting.
Okay, good, then, We'll have that meeting February 6th. Come if you want. Miss it if you want. Okay, active coffee squad members.
The fire department started that coffee squad members for people that will, retired firemen that can help out during the day if we're shorthanded. They wanted to take on 4. As of right now, they have 3, so we need to accept them to be on. It's Tim Bruins, Roger Tabert, and Dave Panning. As of right now.
Okay,
I would motion to accept those as part of the
coffee squad.
coffee squad members.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to approve Tim, Roger, and who was
Dave.
Dave Panning as coffee squad members. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Accept it. Okay, then we need to move towards this designating the official paper. Feelings, I like what's going on, I don't,
I would motion to keep the Winthrop News as the official paper.
I'll second it.
motion been made and seconded to keep Winthrop as the official paper. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Our designation is the Winthrop News. Designate the primary depository. We only have one bank anymore, so.
I would motion to designate the corner bank, whatever it's. Midwest Bank as our primary depository for the city.
I'll second it. Motion been made and seconded to approve the Midwest Bank as our official primary depository. Okay, then we have to designate our city attorney.
I have we have an individual that is real interested in providing legal counsel for the city with criminal and civil services. I believe we should, out of fairness, we should see what he has to say and offer the city. I know he has a background in and specializes in municipal law. I guess for that reason, I think we should probably postpone the appointment of the city attorney until we get all the information to determine what he really has to offer the city and what is in the best city's interest. I think it's at this time, I know Rick has been a good attorney and everything. I mean, we have somebody who's interested in providing legal counsel, and I think we, out of fairness, I think we should hear what he has to say and make our decision based on what's in the best interest of the city, based on what we find and what he has to offer.
Is he willing to meet with us? Or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so.
And I think we should, like I say, I think we should just postpone the appointment to a later date until we get a little bit more information on what's going on here with that.
Did he approach you?
No, he didn't. I mean, it's been out there, and I got word that, how should I say it? That there was some interest in providing some news. I mean, he didn't approach me personally, and then when I heard that there was some interest by him to do this, so then I called him and I said, is this right? So I is this what I've been hearing? And yes, he was very interested in doing it. So
What was his name?
well, I was gonna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not yet.
You wanna say,
Yeah, I mean, he asked if Dana would send him a application, and he would send his information, his credentials, his references, and all that. And I think if when we get to that, I think we can probably discuss more of who it is and what's going on. Because right now it's it was just a phone call between I and him.
Well,
So,
as you look around, I'm not opposed to change.
Yeah. And,
Well, do we have a contract with Mr. Miller?
It's just a designated thing that we do every
Annual-
year. Yeah.
Annual contract, yeah.
An annual contract, and is that expired?
Yeah, just like our terms expire.
Well, I
so,
should ask you, are you willing to go on a month to month,
that's what he's at now.
or,
Well, no, I was appointed
Yeah.
for the past year, and every year it comes up. So, I mean,
I'm saying if he's asking us to postpone this.
For a month.
It isn't that he's not gonna get, yeah, he's not gonna get, he's gonna get paid for his services, I mean, and like, he's, you know.
Well, I wanna make sure that that's agreeable to.
you're asking me if I like that? No.
No,
I don't know if you
No,
like it,
no.
but it would.
But I mean, what I like or don't like maybe is irrelevant.
But, would you be willing to serve like the month of January? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, we haven't made any decision, yes or no, at all, I mean.
Right, but
we
he,
haven't-
but his appointment expires, right? I mean, I don't want us uncovered. I don't
No,
want.
I understand.
I have 2 hearings tomorrow
Yeah,
for the city of Gibbon as the prosecutor, and I will certainly be at those hearings. And I try very hard to do the job that needs to be done. And I have for as long as I've been here. And I'm certainly prepared to continue that.
What do we wanna do, something like appoint him for 2 months, 3 months, or something, and
yeah, I don't know how you would,
set a certain date that we're gonna make a decision? Instead of just kinda shooting by month to month.
I don't know. I've never been through this. Sorry.
Well, none of us have. I'm just saying, if an appointment expires, and then we don't reappoint, there's nothing to keep Mr. Miller from saying, okay, well, you know, have a nice life, and we have nobody. And I'm just, so that's why I'm asking Mr. Miller, are you willing to continue until this is resolved or changed or anything like that? I'm sorry, that's my telephone.
Good. Hey, Mike.
what, and,
Well,
and turn,
I'm
whatever the
sorry.
put it
current
on the
rate
floor,
is,
step on it.
on a month by month until we make the final decision, would that be agreeable?
Well, I mean, whatever you say I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
certainly would not wanna do a change until we met with this person you're talking
Exactly,
about.
yeah, I mean, this is not, you know, and this is just something that came up just out of the blue here, you know, and so it's not that, but like you said, out of fairness, I mean, ask, I mean, we really, if somebody's looking at doing a job, I mean, it's, as far as the city's concerned, we really do have a responsibility to look at all options and what best options are for the city, that's what I'm saying, you know, so.
In
I'm not saying that is, but I'm just saying that we should look at it and not just go with the status quo and say, okay, well, this is what we've been doing, this is the way we should keep things, you know. But, I mean, it's always good to look at something different,
I
something
guess,
new.
in a way, I kind of see that in the past, when we had the garbage thing.
Yeah,
I was extremely big time for the ones we had. I didn't want to change until a price raise. But in retrospect, as much as I really liked the people we used to have and as they're friends of mine and whatever, Priggy has done a very good job, and I have to say I'm impressed. So I mean, change sometimes, not saying that the thing concerning you is a change that might be needed, warranted, or whatever. We got to decide that, but sometimes change does work for the better. The garbage thing
We
has
actually-
worked out
yeah,
good.
I mean, it's our responsibility to look outside once in a while.
Sure, yeah, and it really didn't hurt a thing to do
No,
what we
no.
did as far as the garbage. It turned out to be
Yeah.
what I was told back then. The biggest thing, he was a local taxpayer, and yeah, he is. And I guess when I'm wrong, I gotta admit it. So, yeah, I think we can definitely look at this, meet with the guy, and see what happens.
And who would meet with them? Like you would come to a city council meeting?
Well, we first have to, you know, send them an application, I would assume, and then be in contact with them and find out.
He'll probably come back with some of his requirements too.
Yeah,
I
yeah, so
suspect.
which then we
It
can look at.
might
we
be
can-
out of the ballpark.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean, so then, you know, it's gonna be a little bit of a process. I mean, it's not something that you're gonna do by next week, you know, so.
Well, then I would just thank you for continuing until this is resolved.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
so
you're
we'll just
gonna,
table this until, the tabled appointment, I make a motion we table the appointment of the city attorney to, another date,
In the future.
in the future, a future date.
so you're presenting that as a
I
motion?
am, I present.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to postpone the designation of a city attorney
To
for
a
a short
future-
period of
To
time,
a future date.
but reasonably short.
Yeah, we're not talking.
ASAP.
Well, I would say, can we put it on the agenda for this coming month, February?
We can, yeah, I mean, hopefully
You know,
it'll be
I-
nice and everything.
I'm
come up
thinking
to speed, yeah.
it could be you and another council person, I don't care who.
Yeah,
And Dana said, if he
Yeah.
comes for an interview.
yeah, and
And,
we could,
cause I'm,
yeah, I mean, I can't see any reason unless there's some issues, he's got some, scheduling issues that it isn't gonna work, but I can't see why it couldn't be done this month.
okay, motion been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Then the next one up is designate assistant mayor. Doug, you are the assistant mayor.
You gonna show up for every meeting this year?
Am I? For this year, yeah, probably next year, no.
Why? Well, I'll do it for a year, I guess.
This is a
I
2-year.
make a
commitment.
motion that we designate Doug, Councilmember Doug
Thanks.
Stark.
Yes. You want the job?
No, as our,
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to
Does he
appoint
get
Doug.
to, does he get to write checks?
He gets to sign them if I'm gone.
Notice I asked. Can't be gone.
Motion been made to approve Doug Stark as the designation has been
Assistant mayor.
assistant mayor. I almost called you mayor.
Don't ever do that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Welcome aboard, Mayor.
Yes.
And then 2017 committee appointments, I don't know. Do we have any new additions, Dana, that you know?
Well, we need to take Roger Tabbert off employee relations because we already have 2 council members.
Okay,
Maybe add someone else from the community, I'm not sure. And then finance, Jeremy Ricky is no longer there, so who would like to be on the finance thing to? Did you sit on that last year?
you should be
I don't
on
know.
finance.
I don't think I did.
Yes.
I don't think I was on finance.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, we're getting you off of one, so we should
Yeah.
put you back
Like
on
Roger
one.
Tabbert on that?
He looks extremely skilled in finance.
I've been broke, yeah.
So we're removing him from one and putting him on another. Correct?
Sure. Weed inspector still Benny Rennick?
I believe Benny's willing to do that.
Weeds?
Okay. Then, moving along, you've got wage committee, that's something a little different,
Well-
right?
Kind of. If you look at the next couple pages, I had to do the pay equity reports.
Mhm.
We do that once every 3 years. Basically is what that is it's something through the government that makes sure that males and females are paid adequately for their job that they do. I had to make adjustments from our 2014 pay equity to our 2017, one with Jason's job. I raised his points higher because he does make a little bit more money. I just find that we'll end up getting into some trouble with pay equity if, once Jason passes his test for his water and wastewater, he's going to get a raise, I assume. I mean, that's the point of him doing this, is what we had discussed previous, and that, we'll put him at making more money.
That's
And I
right.
think we'll run into troubles with that. And then it just seems like we constantly, the last couple of years, we've just done a 3% raise for all of our employees. And I did a 20 years out, that will, if we did 3% every year with no other raises, I mean, our street supervisor will be making, $100,000,
Yeah,
and I'll be making $100,000. Is that something the city can afford? I'm just, so it's something that I think that we need to start discussing before it's too late.
Yeah.
And then we have another problem coming up in June. The Minnesota Department of Labor, they upped the salary wage, was at $23,500. It was supposed to start December 1st. It's starting June 1st, I believe now. You cannot be paid salary unless if you make $47,000 in a year. And I don't make $47,000, so we're gonna have to switch me to an hourly wage, or we're gonna have to give me a raise or something. And I think that we should have, we could spend hours talking about this.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if we put a committee together,
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger businesses, like for example, where my husband works at 3M, they have a job in the job description, they have a wage range that you can make, When you start at the position, you make $50,000, and you can never make over $75,000 at that same job. You can get your pay raises, but after you hit $75,000, you can never make more. You either have to move up or move to a different job.
So there's no,
So it'd be a thought, is there something we could set minimum and maximum salaries at the positions that we have? I don't know. And I've never worked for a big corporation like that. I don't know how they actually do that. I think the county has minimum and maximum wages at different positions.
they
But I
do.
think that it's something we need to talk, does the county?
So you have to
Yes.
have a different job title to get over that?
The way they have them set up is I don't know, they used to call them steps, I don't know, they have a different name now, but you move, but cost of living, any COLA will raise the top. The top doesn't stay permanent.
Oh,
It's allowed to move.
okay.
If like say they give me a 1% step, you get that. If you have no more steps, you don't get a step. But if you get a COLA, like they used to give us like a 3% COLA and a 2% step.
Oh, okay, so
But
once
once you reach
once
the top of your,
you don't get anything over
your
above
steps
your
are done.
COLA. Yeah, you don't get
Right.
anything above your COLA.
Well, then you get your COLA,
Yeah.
and that'll raise you up. The top will, but you will not get a merit step.
Okay.
But they have in place a new system that's supposed to be more merit-based, I think, in 2019. I don't know a lot about that, but currently, the last few years, we've been just getting COLAs.
No, maybe there's people in town. I don't know if there's anybody in town that works in HR that knows how to do that step program, or we know more of how to set something up. I know Roxy at the county, she said she could assist me with like a step program, but I also heard that the step program isn't the best way to go either.
There's downfalls in there.
Well,
I don't know,
the
I
step
mean-
program that the county has been, you have to have so many points, I believe, to move ahead, but everybody always does, because it's set up that way that, you should be able to get it if you make an honest effort. Some outfits, I'm not saying the county isn't as of yet, but I know of some private businesses that have went to a full merit system, and it involves peers that can help assist you, the employee, like if you get a lot of complaints from fellow workers or whatever. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. Some of those things, I believe, would be counterproductive. I mean, you end up with a whole all your employees are tattling on it. We don't wanna have that.
Right.
I'm not saying we would, cause we're small here, but there's a lot to think about when you come up with,
Oh, definitely.
it's not something you wanna just
But, you know, I mean,
take whatever.
3 years from now, 2020 is when our next pay equity is due, and I don't, you
It's
know,
not
I
right,
mean,
I
I'm
know.
expecting by that time Ern will have his Class D license, and we want him, he deserves to get a significant raise for being able to take over all that stuff.
Yeah,
And we just also wanna make sure that we're in compliance, you know what I mean? So we
Right.
need to write better job descriptions that fit that point
Yeah.
system, you know?
that's what
You know?
that's what I was thinking, if there's a
I mean-
different job description, you know,
Maybe-
that's what you would have to almost do.
Maybe that'd be a better way to do, is maybe just change our job descriptions.
Yeah. Well, I think we should set up a wage committee and just kinda look at some options, you know, and just say, well, we could do this, this, or this, and at least we have something to look at the next council meeting and kinda decide what we wanna do, cause otherwise we could sit here all day and talk about this and not get anything done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One thing to remember too is, and I'm, you know, like you say, your husband, they can reach a point, they never get a raise, that's it. If
That's the
you're in
way
a,
I understood. He probably gets the raise and just hides it.
and you don't know about it, okay.
I'm
But,
just
but
kidding.
say
I don't know.
he's right, say that is what happens. That, if you're somewhere and there's never any chance of improvement financially or the
Yeah.
way you think of your job, it's going to
Why do you
become,
keep giving? Yep.
it's gonna be.
Once
you
you,
know,
once you hit the ceiling, there's no.
What's
there's no
the, I'm not, I hate to say it, but the way humans
true.
are, I mean,
Yeah.
what's in it for me? And if
Yeah.
there's not a lot in, either they're gonna find a different job, or they're gonna just
do less.
stagnate.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
They're not going to excel in the position they're in.
exactly, there won't be improvement. That's what makes things work, is the knowing that you can better yourself. So I don't know if I would like that if we top them off.
Right, yeah. It's-
Not that I wanna say I'm a
And
big
that's fine. In
spender,
20
I'm
years,
not,
maybe
but,
that's where everyone needs to be with the cost of living. I don't know.
see, and one thing.
I'm just saying, if you figure it out, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but the county found out, and you can talk to Roxy about that they had to make a change because employees were leaving. And it was tough, it
Mhm.
cost a ton. Most of the county levy, I believe, I know I heard someone tell me this, most of it went to pay increases for the employees. They had to do it because employees were
You're losing
leaving.
good employees.
And you can't afford not to have them. It
Yeah.
just becomes a necessity. So, yeah. No matter what we do, it's probably gonna be, you know, some will not like. But it's like it
So
is.
who wants to be on this committee? I
I'll
do that.
just probably a committee of what, three, or maybe at the most, 3 or 4.
Well, there can only be 2 of you guys,
Yeah,
and I'm assuming.
our financial dude on the other end there, he's with the numbers, he can.
Yeah. We'll work with them.
What's that?
We'll work with them.
Yeah.
But if you, maybe Roxy would be a good resource for
So you and Vito?
Yeah.
You could contact her, she might have some pretty good ideas.
Yeah. Well, I'll put on listservs too and see what people are paying, and
Okay.
job descriptions and whatever.
Okay.
Then I don't know, maybe we
And you?
should consider asking people from the outside that we think might
Oh, yeah,
have a better idea. I don't know.
okay.
People will work out in the private sector somewhere that, I don't know.
Said that, like Mitch would probably be a good one on it, but that's total conflict of interest. So.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, just because
Yeah.
he's worked with all.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
don't know
maybe
what's
someone
For an
that's worked in HR.
informational, though, he'd be good just informational.
Yeah, I don't know if she worked in
What should we do?
something. Think about it and maybe ask. I don't know who else.
Well,
I don't know
think
if my
so.
sister works.
But I
with
know
me,
they're no
that's
telling, but I think
definitely
that
conflict of interest.
Justin Eckert, I think his wife is in HR, Mike Foods, I think, ain't she? I mean, she'd have a new one down, but it'd be,
We could come up with somebody that is,
They just might have more ideas to bring to
Right.
the table.
cause they,
To
ask
they get
around.
more
Even
information.
if they don't wanna join the committee, maybe
right,
you guys could hit them up on the side or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
okay,
Night.
Okay,
we can do that.
and then I need a motion to accept the pay equity report that we did.
I would motion to accept the pay equity report.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the pay equity report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Pay equity report is approved. Committee reports, we had no committee meetings. Under discussion, we have dog license. Dana, that's you.
I think 68, 69, 68,
How many we have last year?
138.
That's a ways to go.
It's been a-
Work, work, work.
it was a-
Start knocking. I don't know, how much leeway are we gonna give for this? It's
There was a
sickening.
huge fatality rate.
I don't know, but I'm sick of people calling me on my cell phone at night telling me that
You're not open.
I'm not open during their times while I was
You
here.
were
Those
here
Tuesday
nights?
nights, I don't know, you've had 365 days before today to come and get it, so.
You know, I don't know.
Not-
Are we gonna allow, how
Not my
did
priority.
we do it last year? It took till about February or March?
I think I got, once I got everybody contacted, it was probably by the first part of February, and then I made sure they, tried to make sure they gave an effort, you know?
Yeah,
Cause some of them give you the, although I didn't know that, and then I always tell them that, you know, what they need, their, vaccinations and liability insurance, well, then they gotta go get that. I guess I'm under the thinking that if they're gonna do it, I'd just as soon they get it done within a week or two when we get that license on them, but.
yeah,
I think ASAP.
yeah. So what,
We
yeah,
can't back down on that.
no,
Everybody can afford $10,
if they can afford to feed their dog.
right? Unless they're giving them Old Roy or,
Yeah, we need to be very strict with that.
see how many you can get by next month.
Yeah,
If you see anybody new to town or someone, you know, too.
yeah.
I think my new neighbors already came up, right?
They did, they did. They call me and I tell them right off the bat, so anybody that says they moved here and didn't know that, that's a bunch of bull, because I have conversations with everyone that calls and sets up a
So
water
if they
bill.
don't have it
And all
by,
the landlords know that it's due on January 1st, it's on the water bill, so.
if there's a certain date that they don't have them by, is there anything, if they don't get it, can we do anything?
It's a $120 fine.
Okay,
Oh,
well, can we set a date then and start?
well, it should have been December 31st.
Right.
but- Yeah, I suppose maybe, I don't know, what do you guys? How much time does it take to get around to everybody? I'm realistically not,
I mean, depends on how busy you get with other stuff. I'll be honest with you, I mean, if there's other things that take priority.
exactly, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, how often I can get out. Well, I don't know, I just, that goes, I go, I think
Let's
Dana's
set a
looking at-
date of March 1st, and if they don't have them, start mailing tickets.
Yeah, that's it.
But I honestly, I thought of that too, but unless I know they have a dog, you know, some of them try and keep them snuck inside and they only come out in the day when we're not here. So I actually have to go knock on the doors to make sure they have the dog. So,
Do you think March 1st is enough time?
oh yeah,
Okay,
that's fine, that's plenty good.
okay. March 1st,
Okay, moving on. Municipalities meeting, the 26th.
Yeah, and
Everybody
it's
is coming.
here.
Yep.
So maybe you're
It's gonna be right here.
Thursday,
Probably
probably Dick's
not.
name.
So,
Yep.
I'll try and be here.
Oh, you will be here.
Dick's bringing a beer.
Okay. Pianos.
Yeah, those pianos out there, what can we do with them?
Why are they there?
Exactly.
Who's are they?
I don't know.
How long have they been here?
Forever?
30 years?
Well,
Out.
yeah,
Out.
out of city limits in the county road ditch.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take it over that way. Just go a mile that way. The district changes.
Could we put them on Craigslist, Facebook or
Read-
something, or
Come
Oh, I
get
would,
'em.
I would
giveaway?
suggest,
Yeah, just give them one.
Yeah,
yeah,
first come, first served. man.
Post it on Facebook.
put on
Yeah.
something for the city has 2 pianos.
Just get
Is
rid of
anyone's
it.
interested, please?
You must move.
Yeah.
Move yourself, yep.
Bold and valuable. Okay, moving on, community center flooring, we have a start date in there or not?
January 23rd is our tentative start date.
So we're gonna have new floor for the meeting.
I'd like to make a comment about that. Tonight, I used the restroom before the meeting started, and the flooring in our restroom is ratty. The tiles are off the floor. Was that part of this?
Yes.
You bet.
Because all we ever talked about was the big room and the different things, so it's the restrooms too.
Something
Old
neat,
building.
probably.
Old building.
No matter what, we are not letting this city hall turn into the other one. One is enough per town.
Oh, okay, well, I'm glad to know that. That's why I even made it up before we started about the bathrooms, so good.
Once the flooring is done, then we're gonna do the,
I see that.
Oh, we're thinking we'll do it while they do it. Set it all out there and put them in opposite offices.
perfect.
Okay, here's something that I know nothing about, city copper test results.
Okay, so every 6 months, the Department of Health requires us to, we do 20 samples throughout town, different places. And I believe it was in October when we had to do our last ones. And we just got the results back, what, a couple weeks ago? Something
Not
like
even a
that.
week ago.
But the last 2 times that we've done it now, the results have come back high on some of the households. So we were required to put that pamphlet in the city bills that says that we are experiencing high levels right now. And we are feeding a phosphate in the water treatment plant right now, which is, it's been helping. These last results were lower than the time before already, but they're still a little bit too high. So I talked to Jerome about it, and this John Tome also, that helped build the plant. And we're gonna continue feeding it. We're gonna bump the rate up a little bit more yet. And so what that phosphate does is basically, it puts like a coating in your household plumbing pipes, your copper pipes, and that's supposed to help with this copper. Basically, it's when your water sits in your water in your lines in your house like overnight or 6 hours or more is what they say. That's when the levels get really high because the water has time to sit in there and, you know, absorb that copper. So they say basically if you flush your lines out in the morning right away before you take a drink of water, you're gonna be fine. All that.
How long are you supposed to run the water?
They said until you feel a temperature change. So like the winter time should be even a little easier because your houses are heated. So you know, the cold water from the main you should definitely tell the difference.
The water quality since this new plant
Yeah.
is so much better. I
And
never
that's-
drank the city
That's
water.
one of the reasons they think that this is happening now too, because the new treatment plant is basically cleaning
Everything up.
everything up right now, and that's why we're getting a little high.
Because I have a Culligan, one of those reverse osmosis things, and the water's so good now, it's nice and cold if you, like you say, let it run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as good or better. I really like it.
Yep. Yeah, so
It's
the lead,
clear too.
the lead tested really good,
Okay.
so, well, mostly. But yeah, so that's why everybody got that in their water bills this month, because the Department of Health required us to send those out, so everybody's aware that there is a bit of a problem, but I don't think it's nothing real serious, because if it was, I'm sure they'd be taking different measures here, so.
You don't want to be like Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. But just kind of wanted everybody to get filled in on that, what's going on there, but the stuff we have been doing has been working, so hopefully it continues that way.
Okay, moving on, we're gonna move to the police report.
I make a motion to approve the police report.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the police report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Police report is approved. And moving on, we're gonna go to the street report.
I'll make a motion to approve the street report.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded twice to approve the police report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Police report is approved. Then we have to approve, pay the bills presented, approve last month's disbursement, and approve the cash control statement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve those three approved bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Next regular meeting is going to be February 1st, the first of the month.
And I would motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.